The dim glow of a candle flickered in the attic, casting long, restless shadows against the wooden walls. Eleanor Prescott, a woman of elegance and grace, sat cross-legged on the dust-covered floor, clutching an old leather-bound book to her chest. Her hands trembled as she traced the golden lettering engraved on the cover. Diary of Margaret Caldwell. Margaret Caldwell. A name she had heard only in hushed whispers, an enigma in her family's history. The attic had been off-limits for as long as she could remember, but tonight, curiosity overpowered caution. With a deep breath, she opened the diary, its fragile pages rustling like secrets eager to be set free. March 3, 1952. Tonight, my heart is a battlefield. I have done something unthinkable, something I swore I never would. I have fallen for another man. His name is Daniel Whitmore, and he is everything my husband is not. Eleanor's pulse quickened as she skimmed the words. The ink, though faded with time, still carried the weight of forbidden emotions. Margaret Caldwell was her great-aunt, a woman whose name had been erased from family records, as if she had never existed. She turned the page. March 5, 1952. Daniel's touch lingers on my skin like a haunting melody. My husband, Charles, barely looks at me anymore. Our love has become a hollow shell, a performance we put on for the world. But Daniel, he sees me, truly sees me. And in his arms, I feel alive. A gasp escaped Eleanor's lips. She had always known her family held secrets, but this was something else entirely. An affair. A love so forbidden it had been buried for decades. As Eleanor flipped through the pages, the story unfolded before her like a tragic love letter written to time itself. Margaret had met Daniel by chance in the bustling streets of New Orleans. He was a struggling writer with a heart full of poetry and eyes that burned with longing. Their connection had been instant, electric, undeniable. May 12, 1952. We meet in stolen moments, in whispered promises. Every touch, every glance is a sin, and yet, I cannot resist him. I have never known love like this. It is reckless and all-consuming, like a wildfire that refuses to be tamed. But I fear the day Charles will uncover the truth. His love is not kind, it is possessive, jealous, dangerous. Eleanor shivered. The words carried an eerie foreboding, a sense that something terrible was on the horizon. The diary entries became more frantic, more desperate. Margaret and Daniel had planned to escape together, to leave behind the gilded cage Charles had built around her. But fate had other plans. July 2, 1952. Charles knows. I see it in his eyes, the way they darken when he looks at me. Tonight, he gripped my wrist too tightly, his voice laced with something menacing. I cannot breathe under his watchful gaze. Daniel and I must leave soon, before it's too late. July 5, 1952. Daniel didn't come. We were supposed to run away together, but he never arrived. I waited in the rain until the sky wept with me. I fear the worst. I fear Charles has done something terrible. A tear slipped down Eleanor's cheek. Had Margaret's love story ended in tragedy? She turned to the final entry, heart pounding. July 7, 1952. I know now that love is not always enough. I will never see Daniel again. Charles has won. This house will be my prison forever. If anyone finds this diary, please remember me not as a woman who sinned, but as a woman who loved. The ink trailed off, smudged as if blurred by tears. Eleanor sat frozen. The attic felt suffocating now, the walls closing in with the weight of a story silenced for too long. But why had no one spoken of this? Why had Margaret been erased from history? Determined, she dug deeper, sifting through old letters and photographs. And then, she found it. A newspaper clipping dated July 8, 1952. Local woman, Margaret Caldwell, declared missing, presumed dead. Eleanor's blood ran cold. Margaret hadn't just been forgotten. She had been erased. Eleanor couldn't let it rest. She searched through public records, visited the local library, even contacted historians. But Margaret's name was nowhere to be found beyond that article. It was as if she had vanished without a trace. Until one night, Eleanor received an anonymous letter. "Stop searching. Some secrets are meant to stay buried." Chills ran down her spine. Someone didn't want the truth to come out. But why? What had really happened to Margaret Caldwell? And more importantly, was Charles still alive? Eleanor was about to uncover a truth more sinister than she ever imagined.